Hello, folks. This is Punti. Here with me, Sylvester Churople. We are live here at the Executive Mansion. The Presidential Press Secretary, Madam Kula Fofana, we will give updates from the Executive Mansion concerning issues over the week.
Yeah, I don't want it in my mouth like this. Is it okay? Can you hear me? Okay, let's do it this way. Is it okay? Test it. Is it okay? Okay? Your radio people, you're getting me clearly? Okay, wonderful. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press, I'd like to welcome you to this weekly press briefing. And we are here at the Executive Mansion. Welcome again because when we started this initiative of briefing the public and informing the public on happenings of the Executive Mansion, we were consistent in the days, and even 2 weeks we have not had our regular press briefing. And as you may know, the previous Friday, it was the time we went to Cote d'Ivoire for a meeting with His Excellency the President of Cote d'Ivoire. And then it was on that Friday that we returned, and the President was able to speak to you all journalists. And we couldn't hold our regular press briefing at that time. And last week, Friday, you all know it was a national holiday. And on holidays, of course, there'll be no need for you to come here. You need time out with the family. So we are reconnecting based on the breaking that we have had. So welcome again, and like we started a tradition, we hope we can continue. We will normally invite journalists from across the country. The last time we've had someone from Bomi, we've had someone from Margibi, and this time we got somebody from Cape Mount. We want to recognize Radio Piso, who's represented by Mr. Jenkins Mabani. Welcome to the Executive Mansion, and welcome to our regular press briefing. And let me continue by saying to our Muslim brothers and sisters, Salam alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. The Muslim community started the holy month of Ramadan. And His Excellency, our president, gave a message to the community through a video message, wishing the Muslims a very peaceful, prosperous, prayerful Ramadan. And I want to add my voice and in my own name as a fellow Muslim to say, may Allah give us the blessings of this holy month, and as we all pray for this country, for the betterment of our country. So His Excellency is very happy and wants to again extend such a felicitation and blessings to all of our Muslim brothers and sisters observing this holy month. Please continue to pray for the country and pray for the success of His Excellency and the government of Liberia. We are coming out of a busy, very busy week. And as you know, we also today just had a commissioning ceremony. His Excellency commissioned additional officials who have been confirmed by the Liberian Senate. There were heads of agencies, ministers, as well as deputy ministers who were commissioned earlier today right here at the Executive Mansion in Palo. And during that ceremony, His Excellency they informed the commission of the officers to really take seriously his vision for the country, and he has invited them to see, and implement their res agenda in the best interest of the Liberian people. His Excellency also have had several meetings with the diplomatic community, with different people, different institutions with interest in helping to support our government's agenda. One of the key meetings highlighted is the meeting with the United Nations in Liberia, particularly the head of the United Nations, that is the resident coordinator. That meeting happened earlier this week, and the United Nations did extend their support, did extend their willingness as they've done. They continue to be here, continue to support the country's progress to peace. And interestingly, they also are very happy with the progress we've made so far on the line of sustaining and maintaining democracy, particularly with the conduct of our elections and the peaceful transfer of power. Um, we're very happy, His Excellency was very happy and thought that those sentiments and comments are in the best interest of our country. Going further, His Excellency visit to Cote d'Ivoire, just to reiterate, because when we came, he also mentioned some of the meetings and engagement that was held. But just to remind the public, in Cote d'Ivoire, there were three key essence of the meeting. One area was on agriculture, electricity, and security. As you all know, the region currently is a little challenged with the current wave of threats in other countries within the West African region. So security was top of the agenda. Electricity, we all know Liberia is challenged. One of our key issues is on electricity, and electricity is also a part of the president's agenda, very high priority area. His Excellency is looking forward to working with all stakeholders to make sure we are able to solve the problem of electricity. Agriculture, the arrest agenda stems from the agriculture. The A within the arrest agenda is on agriculture, particularly on the issue of food sustainability, because food for His Excellency is just beyond just being the food, but it's also a security commodity. So the essence of for us being food sufficient is very important. It's high on the president's agenda. Talking about, we also the issue of different executive orders that His Excellency have been able to put into action. Talking about energy, coming from Cote d'Ivoire, just yesterday actually, His Excellency had a very important high-level energy sector roundtable with key partners in the energy sector. We had the different missions here. You had LEC, the Liberia Electricity Corporation, as well as a representative from the Ministry of Mines and Energy, particularly the minister in this delegation, as well as the Rural Renewable Electricity Agency, who both they and the Liberia Electricity Corporation work us through on the challenges of our electricity portion and what we need to elevate and implement key projects to soften the challenges that we have within the sector. And the president is very happy about the roadmap, about the road in which his team is taking, and he's also charged them to make sure that they are able to give him briefing almost every week about the current status and where we are, what the challenges are, and how they are bringing solutions to solving those problems. And he is very clear on that, and he's very excited so far on those plans. And his meeting is to ensure that it's achievable. The 100-day deliverable, he's been briefed that they're on course. Works are ongoing, particularly with the Ministry of Public Works. He was briefed by the Ministry of Public Works, the minister particularly, about the current nature and the startup point where they're going to begin, particularly the beginning with LOFA, where they've set up some different, some of the, in the goal of this particular portion of what he talked about on the aspect of road. During the rain season, there are major spots that are impassable for vehicles. So the plan of the 100 days to ensure that those key spots are worked on and they're active, work going on during the course of the rain season. So one of the other things again I will talk about is asset recovery. So the president has given the charge of the asset recovery team to elevate them, activate them, make them work very hard to bring back the assets that former officials of government that assets belonging to the government that they're taking. And the team reported to the president that they are working very hard and their plans in which they intend to undertake on making sure that those things happen. Because across government, there are challenges and there is a need because our president, he expressed a sentiment that It's not every time a new government comes in, you will want to buy new assets, new vehicles, for example, new computers, new everything. Is costly. And the president is very concerned. So he's interested in knowing that when you serve public service, when you leave what is what you were giving and let the other people come and utilize it for the interest of the Liberian people. Um, so far, thank you all so much. And I'm very happy to take some of your questions as we continue our conversation around the workings of the president, particularly His Excellency, our president, Joseph Yuma Boakai Sr. Thank you. I look forward to taking questions from you all. Call your name, your institution you represent, and please, the ladies, want you all to be here. Let me just recognize the presence of the Deputy Minister for Public Affairs, Minister Anthony Kessley. Is here and he's been confirmed. He's already confirmed. So he's our Deputy Minister for Public Affairs. Thank you, Mr. Kessley, for joining. Yes. So we'll coordinate it, Mr. Ellis Toba.
Thank you so much, Madam Press Secretary. My name is Moses Akolo, and I report for the University of Labrador Radio. Two questions I have. The President, in his statement today, said that if we work hard, in less than 3 weeks, we will see $5 billion railroad from Guinea to the port of the Ghana. I'm concerned as to whether he was speaking in relation to the HPX deal. If that is it, how far we've come to the point that in about less than 3 weeks we're going to see our investment. Another one has to do with the president's visit to Cote d'Ivoire. He did tell the people of Liberia that Cote d'Ivoire has agreed to restore power and even increase the megawatt they're giving us. I want to know to what point was that commitment made that the heads of the Liberia Legislative Corporation and the Regulatory Authority, in their appearance to the Senate, said that Cote d'Ivoire, through the energy sector, SIA Energy, they're not going to get us electricity because the government owes it. So at what point was that commitment made to the president that we still cannot see a electricity coming to that river that we owe the people what they have to? If we can't pay them, they will not be able to give us electricity.
Who's the next person? Like that? Can you hear me? Okay. Yes, what's the next person?
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Matthew Jacobs. I report for
Please speak louder, please.
So thank you very much. My name is Matthew Jacobs. I report for the 45 City TV. So my concern has
Report for
45 City TV.
45 City.
Yeah, 45 City TV.
Okay, the 45 City. Yeah, okay, 45.
45.
Oh, 45.
45.
Ah, okay, I thought you
Yeah,
meant
45.
Oh, 45.
Not number.
Oh, I understand.
45.
45. How fortified are you? Go ahead.
So what happened is I had a full concern, and one has to do with the president. In most of the comments you were mentioned about asset declaration and other things, and he has not yet. The public has not yet known his own asset let's say declaration. You only when he presented, but they don't know how much he has and whatsoever. And the public say had that in that. And the other one has to do with even though you may not be in a category or in a particular sector of the central bank, But this is an issue that the Liberians are faced with concerning March 30 having to be the deadline for the old money. I can say that. So people still having concern on that particular issue. So as a press secretary, do you have anything to say on that particular banknote?
Madam President, my name is Anthony Jeffa for APC Radio. Still, Nigerians are still looking and listening for the investigative report from the Armed Forces of Nigeria Wise protest, the President said that committee. The next question is, where are we with the committee set up by the President on the on the issue of tending positions? Have they reported to the President? What is the status? Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Jenkins Madamapane and I work for Radio PCA. I was sport ranking and I also report for 2FM in Cape Town. Thank you for the opportunity, and let me also say thanks to my colleagues for the acceptance here. Of the issue, my question has to do with the President 100-day rules that you earlier talked about, and to your explanation, probably talking about where we started in Lofa County. The public may know the 100-day rule is it restricted to a particular county or the entire country going to be, but if so, what are priority areas that will be considered in the 100 days?
Thank you, Press Secretary. My name is Joseph Daniels, and I report for OPFM. And congratulations to the government, which turns 2 months today. I am concerned about the appointments being made by the government. Yesterday morning, a list of appointees was placed on the website and Facebook page of the Executive Mansion. I can clearly recall that there were appointments made at the Ministry of National Defense affecting the Deputy Minister of Position and others I want to call, but up to now, that particular release was edited. It does not reflect on the Executive Mansion Facebook page, and there was no notice as to why. So could you please tell us?
Thank you all very much for those very important questions. I will start by the first question from Lutz. So you probably may have misheard, what the president said. But the president mentioned of the 5 billion that was talked about in 3 weeks was definitely the HPS conversation. And the 3 weeks mentioned was the beginning of the administration. So during the first 3 weeks of the administration, that was when the conversation with HPS, even the agreement that was talked about, the feasibility conversation is currently still ongoing and works have been done. Trust me, there has been a lot of progress made so far. There was a meeting held in South Africa with our team from here going there. So in all of those meetings are discussions happening behind the scenes. As soon as we get to a point where the public needs to be informed on the actual beginning or the specifics of what's going to happen, you will all be informed about it. And one of the things we continuously and consistently have said here is that we do intend to be very open and very transparent with information as we have them, and to be able to provide them to you all, and to let the public know the workings of the president, particularly our role here at Public Affairs and also the Office of the Press Secretary. Talking about Cote d'Ivoire, what was agreed upon. So if you do a backstory, you will know that Cote d'Ivoire have always supported Liberia, and both countries have sisterly relationships. And with particularly in the electricity sector, and that you should also know that the CSLG lines, is also hosted or supported via Ivory Coast. During the visit to Ivory Coast, there was a visitation by the president to the regional office, and there was a very beautiful presentation made by the team there. So talking about that in terms of the commitment that was made, what I can say, yes, Ivory Coast did agree to support the president, particularly agreed to help and support Liberia with the addition of 25 kilowatts of electricity. Currently, what is being received is the same 25, so they agreed to add it up to that. With the reference to what the minister said or the people said at the legislature, I can't speak to that because I wasn't. I'm just hearing that from you. To Fortified TV, your question on March 30th on the money, the bank notes situation. I think it would be good that you follow up with the Central Bank of Liberia. They have a very good communication team there, and I'm sure they'll be willing to give you more details on the issue of the bank note and its expiration and what their plans are. But if they bring that to the president's attention and it's briefed on that, I would definitely let all of you know. In terms of assets declaration, I've said here countlessly that the president is very serious about accountability. That's why he puts premium on the team that he has selected for the assets declaration and property retrieval task force, so that they're able to work to ensure that people who served government previously are made to restitute or return things that they have that belong to government. In terms of his public declaration, he's done the declaration, he's gone to the LACC and declared his asset. In terms of making those papers public, it's something that he will do. And like I said, he definitely, right now, to be honest, the president Dex is really full on many things. As we speak, he just left from here. He's here trying to have different meetings and talk about. Once he gave us the go ahead to make those documentation public, you all will be informed. On updates of the armed forces fight, we've said here on numerous occasions that the security issue, in fact, one thing I didn't say, and I was thinking whether it's because of security, but one of the things that this president has done just this week, he had his first National Security Council meeting. And that National Security Council meeting brought together all of the government stakeholders in the security sector. And security is a top agenda. And after that meeting, the Justice Minister was able to brief the media on the discussion, especially those discussions that are declassified. As you know, majority of security work, they're all classified, except those that need to be given to the public are normally given to the public. So he puts premium on security. So talking about the armed forces, why is that? This investigation at that time is still ongoing. However, in fact, even here in the comment today, you listen to what he talked, is concerned about the condition of the military, the condition of the army people, the condition of the barracks when he was commissioning the chief of staff of the army. And he talked about those, and he has put on very high level team who continuously briefing him on the current state. So, like I said in our last conversation, was that their problems have been solved in terms of restoration of electricity, also in terms of the condition. In fact, we did see that they're working around finding a means to work on the housing situation there, and also to ensure that some of the things that they talk about, because they're short-term, long-term, and medium-term, and they're working on the short-term, the long-term, medium-term. But I can say the process is ongoing, and at the time that investigation is completed, you all will be informed. On the question of tenure, right now I'm sure you are aware that on tenure, the court, some of the people who were put on those issues, especially those who were appointed, those who were currently or who were in those positions, some of them went to court, and the court have written, those institutions to call for conferences. I do know the president has been briefed on the situation with EPA, for example, and that is an active, ongoing conversation. There are conferences that have been set up by the court, and the president, as he always said, respects the rule of law, and he's he's giving the opportunity to the judiciary so they're able to continue their process at the time of the concluding part. His team consistently have, briefed him on the progress so far on those cases. Talking about the 100-day deliverable, and again, welcome from all the way to Cape Mount. We hope we can do this regularly as time goes by, so we can bring journalists from all over the country. So on the 100 days deliverable, so the president has been briefed, and it's not going to be just one place. It's all across the country. Because we mentioned road, he did say, and he continues to say that he wants to make sure within the first 100 days that there are not going to be cars that will be stopped, because it's very sure with roads are tied to access to healthcare. Roads are tied to transportation. Anything around roads, moving from one point to the other. If the people can't get medicine to where it's supposed to be because the road is poorly, is very poor, it's not in good condition, they're going to cause some casualties. So, and there are lots of issues relating to that. And he put a very high level of interest in that. He wants to make sure that key spots during the rain season, there are places in this country during the rain season, it's very difficult for cars to move, even people. So, and things, commerce, they impact communication in a lot of different areas. So if you can't get to the other places, it makes food very expensive. It makes everything, commodities, basic services very expensive. So that is why it's doing that. And these spots that have major challenges during the rain season, the Ministry of Public Works is currently working. The Ministry of Public Works briefed the president that they are working along with the Ministry of Finance to ensure that fundings are secure and do all the different things necessary, because right now a lot of things are going on. We seeing the rain will soon be here, and preliminary works, all major works, finding the contractors, people have been spoken with, they're ready, they've done the plans, all the plans are cleared now. What's needed now is to just get the go ahead to move in, because when the rain comes, it's going to be much more difficult. On the issue of appointment made, on the issue of appointment, I've said this, and I like to be very clear. Appointments are the prerogative of the president. He makes appointment, he decides who he wants to serve, and he decides who he doesn't want to serve. When the appointments are made, they go on the Executive Mansion website. The Executive Mansion website is the primary source for information from the executive. The Facebook page and other pages are all supplementing the Executive Mansion website. So information that you see, especially when it comes to the appointment, specifically those were instructions or the appointment made. And one of the things I would like to re-emphasize in this briefing today is that, as we all know, there are 4 stages of appointment, especially when it comes to appointment that requires Senate confirmation per the Constitution. One is that you are nominated by the president. 2, you are confirmed by the Senate. 3, you are appointed by the president. And 4, you are commissioned by the president. One of which happened today, the commissioning ceremony that some of you were here to witness. So none within that talked about the announcement. I see and I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, Uncle, I need to be announced," which is important. Announcements are important. You give notice to the public that these things that are happening, and the president has made this announcement or made this appointment. However, specifically, those are the procedure in which one is selected, especially those who are going to be who are supposed to go through Senate, because there are some positions that do not require Senate confirmation. So for those ones, the president appoints you, and in most instances, you see, they will tell you these appointments take immediate effect. So I just wanted to make that clarification that announcement is a part of the awareness. It's a necessary process so people can be aware, but it's not one of the full parts that determines whether this person is not appointed or is appointed. Once that procedure is followed, the person can be seen as an appointee, or someone who president has given the authorization to work with him in his government. So we'll take the final line of questioning and then we'll call this press conference to a close. What are the females? You know, I've been asking y'all for the women. You come to these press conferences. We need to see our sisters. I think I need to meet some of your owners. Where's Bashta? Yeah, where are you guys? I mean, you don't be doing these things, man. You come to these press conferences, ladies, gentlemen. What's Rachel? You know, where are they? Y'all don't do this, man. Y'all can't let these gentlemen be pulling you around here. No, but I mean, this is something. In fact, I'm intending to have a meeting with the PUL. I'm also intending to have a meeting with FIJA, with the Female Journalists Association. I'm intending to have a meeting with your bosses to let them change some of your faces. I'm tired of seeing your other faces, man. I want to see some women. No, but this is just the fun part of it. But it's important to encourage, female journalists to come. Those that are assigned here, obviously. And those who wanting to be assigned to the executive mansion, we are sending the next group of requests I see. And this is a PSA to the different media institutions who will be sending the reporters. Please find the females and send them, because when I see you putting John Brown in there, I will tell you, say, fan of female here. I mean, it's just a way to encourage our sisters, the young ladies in the media to really, come to these, institutions and do their best. Yes.
Thank you. Joseph Daniels again. I think my question was whether the nominations were withdrawn or did they stay? But I don't think you answered that question. Right. So I would like you to please do that when you answer the second question.
Right. They were okay. I will let me note that and then we'll talk about it.
So the draft national budget was submitted recently to the House of Representatives, and it coincided with their break, and they are also on break. The person thinking about recording them, because I think, if I'm correct, it's supposed to return by May. So we'll have the entire April until the president call them back in order to consider the draft budget passed.
Okay, my name is Master Tadu of the OPC. So, during the Thursday's record press briefing, the chairperson of the Asset Retrieval Task Force, Councillor Edwin Clamante, gave a 10-day ultimatum to former government officials that illegally or allegedly took some government properties. And you also did talk about the budget that is 1.something million to kickstart the process. So looking at the financial implication, so if this money isn't given, will the tax force function? That's my question.
My name is Mark Fatuma, Tifa Radio. In addition to my sister question, on Tuesday, the mayor of Nairobi, Jefferson Kogi, raised a concern that November, the CDC will succumb to any worker asset declaration team. If so, favor to those who inform in possession of government property and denying or maybe refusing to deliver it. What is the penalty line for them? Are they penalty line for them as well? 2, there's the issue of BMC, that is the Biomantry Company in Kijor. I've been very concerned, and the president also concerned about the back-to-back argument or debate about the value of politics against Liberian debt. Is the president concerned? And another issue, is the president concerned about the current exchange rate in the Liberian market in terms of go this way you see 1 day, you come this way you see 1 day, you come this way you see 1 day. The president concerned with this as well.
Questions?
Thank you, Moses Makulede from Lutz FM. I listened to information is during the week, and this is not talking about them, but in relations to ex-presidents requested about a number of EPS officers that he allegedly requested. And during the week was long to say there's no law to that effect, but a precedent. Presidents have been able to determine which number of EPS to be assigned to former presidents. If that is the case, the former president has made a request. Is the president willing to beef up the security of the former president when during the year's session? There is no law surrounding what number of EPS officers to be assigned to a former president or vice president, or those that are entitled to EPS officers.
Anthony Jeffa for ABC Radio. So, addition to Moses' question, the former President George Weah, according to the government, quoting the Minister of Information, rejected 8 of the 15 officers assigned to him on grounds that he don't know them. He is the president because assigning EPS officer to president or former president or whoever is the prerogative of the president. Is the president thinking about replacing those 8 persons? That's the question. Then, since the issue of security investigation has nothing to do with the public, why would the president set up a committee when the issue of the AFL wives was a very critical issue? In fact, it still remains a very critical issue, so like Abraham was saying. Thank you.
Can you repeat the part that you say that it's not a security concern? I didn't understand the question.
So the question I asked was, what's the
You
status
said,
of
no. I just want to know like the specific thing you just said.
Yes, so since indeed it is not a concern to the public,
Okay.
because it's a serious security matter, why set a committee?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you all very much on that. I'll start with the last one. Nobody did say that security issues are not important or they're now of concern to the public. I mean, I think that's misquoting. This is not what we said. What we said was there's security investigation that continues. And at the conclusion of the investigation, you will be informed. And I did inform you about all the different progress that have been made so far with the restoration of electricity. And we've said this in previous press briefing that the president have already made situation free because that was one of the concerns of the AFL women. He's made the school school that is in the barracks free of charge in terms of people who are there that they can go there. In terms of housing, I did say, I remember particularly that we talked about the work that's been done on the issue of housing, that reviews have been made, there are discussions that are going on. So it's like the progress being made to solve some of the problem, while at the same time the investigation is continuing. So when the investigation concludes, you will have the full report on the what, where, how, when, all the different things that are of public importance, and you should get that clear. Whether or not the president is thinking about all the challenges of the country, I can tell you the president comes to work because of the challenges of the country, and he's very concerned about everything. And it's not just 1, 2, and 3 as you've mentioned. And one of the things that we should all know is that the challenges this government inherited from past administration, and that is what the government is doing, consistently working to show that food is affordable, things are affordable and livelihood. Every time you see the president talk about his concern about the generation, the future of this country, working on the sustenance of electricity. He also mentioned his own story, how he's never left Liberia for a long period to go and live somewhere else. His life has been about Liberia, and he wants to ensure that when he leaves power, he can show we all as Liberians can see that he's done a number of different transformative things that can help, our country, put the country on, par with other countries. In terms of BMMC, the Beer Mountain Mining Corporation, the president did set up a committee. The committee have gone there. They've had preliminary meetings. The president have held meetings. He's called stakeholders in the county. He's had phone conversations with some of the stakeholders to understand the challenges and encourage them to work with the government on solving those problems. The National Investment Commission is also on the team that was set up. The Bureau of Concession is also on the team, and there are discussions on revision of the concession, agreement that the government signed with the company. And there have been a lot of progress made so far. In fact, there was a delegation that went to the county and they talked about that and met with key stakeholders in that. And they're working very very hard on showing that calm is restored and people work on the issue of bad labor practices that give them brief on it and he have assured people of making sure that those things do not happen under his watch. On your issue of Jefferson Coach's comment, I think on the issue of the former mayor's comment that they wouldn't succumb, I will tell you that the Access Recovery and Property Retrieval Committee have been given a charge to work to restitute, to ensure that people restitute things that do not belong to them. And the president will be looking forward to them to communicate clearly their plans to the public, to communicate what they intend to do and how they intend to do it. Something they started doing already. They held press conference. They were part of the Ministry of Information's press briefing, and they informed the public on what they intend to do. And I as a Liberian, and this is not even because of the presidency, but as a Liberian, I would just encourage, I was also serving in previous government, not the immediate past, but like the government of serving as assistant minister. So it's just to encourage all of us to, turn over properties that, does not belong to you. It's just a good mark. That shouldn't really be a conversation that you should be having with people. I would encourage my friends, because I do have friends who serve, the former administration, encourage them, just comply with the team, and, because at the end of the day, it's about your own integrity.